Why are you interested in this position? In this video, I'm going to tell you how to answer this interview question and the common mistakes that you need to avoid so you don't end up getting yourself rejected. And I'm even going to give you an example answer at the very end so that you can see how to answer this question and modify it for your own job. Now first, I want to point out that why are you interested in this position is a different interview question than why do you want to work here. They require slightly different interview answers. If they ask you, why do you want to work here? They're asking about the company itself, not necessarily the job. But if they ask you, why are you interested in this position? Then you have to talk about this specific position on that specific team. So you should not be talking about why you want to work at that company. When you're trying to explain to them why you're interested in the position, you need to talk about why the job itself, the responsibilities, and the scope of work align perfectly with your experience, skills, and how you can have a really good impact and bring results to the team, the company, or the product. Next, I want to tell you how not to answer why you're interested in this position. The first mistake is people always talk about why this position or job is actually good for them or why it's good for you. Now, the company unfortunately does not care why this job is going to be beneficial for you and your career because they're the ones that are hiring, they're the ones interviewing you, and they're the ones that are going to be paying you a paycheck. So they really don't care how this job benefits you because they know if you end up accepting this job, then this job was actually good for your career in some way. So if you take nothing away from this video, the main thing you need to know is when you answer the question, why are you interested in this position, you need to be talking about how you can make a really big benefit or have an impact on that company in that team for that role. The next mistake to avoid is talking negatively in any way about your current job, company, boss, teammates, benefits, or pay. They really do not care, nor do they want to hire someone who's a negative Nancy. All you need to be talking about is why you are a good benefit for this company. You do not need to talk about why you want to leave your current job or company either. Now, this next mistake is something I see in a lot of the online videos on YouTube about how to answer this interview question, and it's actually going to get you rejected. You should not talk about how you're looking to gain new skills or experiences by taking this specific position for the company. The reason why you're not supposed to talk about the new skills or experiences that you're gonna get by taking this job is because you're gonna be pointing out all of the gaps in experience that you have that do not match their job description. So you should not talk about how you're so excited to learn new things when you're taking this role because it's gonna immediately be a red flag for that hiring manager. And the last mistake to avoid is not knowing truly what this job is actually about beyond just the job description. Everyone can read the job description and know if they're a good fit for the role. And so what you also need to do before you answer any of these interview questions is ask the interviewer or the hiring manager or the recruiter to give you additional context on this position. They should be telling you what skills are actually important and what skills are not important because not everything written in the job description is a real requirement. They also should tell you what are the immediate projects that you would potentially work on if you were to join this team. You should also ask what are the current challenges that this team is facing and why they're trying to hire someone for this role right now. Then you're going to use all of this information to actually answer the interview question, why are you interested in this role? Because you're going to be able to customize your answer and experiences to point out all of the similar things that you've done in the past, and that's going to make you have a really big impact, and that is what gets you excited about this role. All right, so now let's talk about how to actually answer the interview question, why do you want this job? And so first, your answer should be somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes long. This is not a behavioral question, so you do not need to use the STAR interview method. Now, if you don't know what the STAR interview method is, I have a whole video up on it right here, but I'm not going to explain it in this video because you don't use it here. So do not use STAR method. Next, in order to properly answer this interview question, you need to use all the information you gathered about what are the immediate projects, what are the current challenges, and what are some of the skill gaps that this team needs and what they are truly trying to hire someone for. You're going to use all this information in order to better answer the question and pitch yourself and say that, hey, basically, I check all the boxes that you're looking for. I've done these things before, and because I'm really good at it, I like doing it, and I like having a big benefit and impact, and that's what gets me excited about joining this specific job on this team. And of course, when you are answering this question, the most important thing, which is actually more important than the words you say, is how you answer this question. You need to be excited, at least fake it, for this interview question. Very similar to why do you want to work here? You need to be excited when you answer this question. Even if you're introverted, you're going to need to fake it just for this one interview question, because how you answer is more important than what you say in this question. Part of the reason why they even ask this interview question, even though it's kind of pointless because they don't really care about what your answer is, they want to see if you're genuinely excited about the role. Now, if you did not actively apply for this job and a recruiter found you on LinkedIn and then got you interested and now you're interviewing, you do not say that when you were talking to a hiring manager and you're answering the question, why do you want this position? Even if you don't actually want this job, or this is not your first choice, or you're just doing this for practice, or the recruiter found you online and you're not actually interested in the role, you should still fake it when you're answering this question, because again, how you say it is more important than what you say. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you an actual example of what I would say if I was asked, why do you want this position, when I'm interviewing for another recruiting role? Now, even if you don't work in recruiting or are applying for a recruiting job, you can still use the template of what I say and swap out anything that I say that's recruiting specific, that's specific to your actual job. And I'm gonna have notes and concepts overlaid in my answer to tell you what you need to actually include in your version. Why am I interested in this position? Well, I spoke with the recruiter and they gave me a little bit of insight in terms of the immediate projects that this person would be working on. One of them is process improvement, and the other one would be scaling and building up a team. Now, this actually gets me really excited because I just did both of these things in my current role and it was really fun. For example, with our recruiting events process this year, I helped streamline the lead gathering and prioritization metrics. So one of the things that we needed to work on was better define a clear criteria as to which candidates should be prioritized and invited to some of the more intimate one-on-one events with our engineering leaders at these larger recruiting events like Grace Hopper. And one of the other processes that we helped streamline too was for the engineering interview process, we actually managed to reduce the interview load by one interview, increasing our time to hire by about 15 days because we had enough data that showed that additional interviews beyond 4 do not improve hiring outcomes or are a better indicator of on-the-job performance. And when it comes to scaling a team, I actually just inherited and built up a new team in APAC because I need to do a lot of hiring in Taiwan. And we were actually able to hit 100% of our hiring goals, which has never happened before in Taiwan because the competition there is super fierce. Our compensation packages are not super competitive, and the specific roles that we were hiring for were very niche, and there is not a large talent pool. But we did some trainings, and I helped upscale this team so that we could get higher pass-through rates. And all of these little projects were really fun for me to do in addition to my regular recruiting work, and I'm so excited to have the same impact here at this company. So that is how to answer the interview question, why do you want this position? And I even talked about some common mistakes to avoid that will lead you getting rejected. Now, one of the other big mistakes that you can make is not subscribing to this YouTube channel because I post free weekly career content just like this, and so you don't want to miss any of those uploads. And put down in the comments what other interview questions you want help answering, and I'll make a video on that. Thank you all for watching, and don't be afraid to shake things up.